Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in this video we are going to take a close look at another mini version of an handheld. This thing called the Model A30. It's more like a Game Boy Advance knockoff little device. But the question remains, what are we going to get? And what do I mean with what are we going to get? Because when it comes to these devices, it's always like a big gamble. And that's just the reason why I love to make these videos, just to show you what you're going to get, what is my experience, and is this thing even worth your money. It comes with a 2.8-inch display, so not big, 320 by 240 resolution IPS display. Supports Type-C for charging and comes with a 1200 milliamp battery. So this is like a very tiny battery. Will give you a couple of hours of playtime, but don't expect a lot from it. So the design itself, I must say, I personally really love it. You have like all kinds of colors, including some translucent versions. But this one, I personally love it. So it comes with more like this stylish old school Game Boy Classic. Then we're going to get 4 buttons over here, the A, B, X, Y. What I find very fancy that we're going to get shoulder buttons, but also 4 of them. We're going to get the D-pad. The D-pad is a very long travel one. Feels kind of flimsy, but not in a bad way. Select start. At the bottom we're going to get the on and off switch over here. We're going to get ourselves the AV out or the headphone out. Then we're going to get ourselves the Type-C volume control. That's something I personally really love, that they added in volume control, because not all of them will have this. 2 extra buttons that will give you some in-game functionalities. And of course the SD card needs to be put in there. We're also going to do a quick teardown just to see how this thing looks. And you know what kind of time it is? Have you seen it? Have you seen it over here? It's time for the Powkiddy. Okay, so when you're turning it on, this device doesn't run on your typical OpenDingux Android, or this is just running on some weird Linux version with a skin over it. And you can see like this thing is like finger-proof nightmare. Okay, so next up we're going to get favorites, retro game. Here's a file, you can browse through the files. Then we're going to get settings. Do have some options. To begin with, to shut down the freaking background music. Okay, so that was a quite big step for only 2, but you can adjust the brightness, refresh ROM, device information. So there's the Powkiddy A30, serial number, the version, CPU runs on 770 MHz, memory 64 MB. Then we're going to get an SD card. It's quite interesting because this SD card is indeed the size they're saying over there. It's like freaking magic. Ooh. Here we're going to get hardware test. It's quite interesting that they do have this option. Okay, that goes great. It already says fail. Then play music. But it's quite interesting that they add this, the way of like testing your system. Never seen that before. Alright, so then we're going to get a retro game. Here we're going to get the option to play some Famicom, Super Famicom, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Mega Drive, Sega Master System, PC Engine, and PlayStation, and the stuff that I've seen before. Here we're going to get some homebrew games or open board games, how you want to call these things, like awesome old school ported games. Terrarium, we have seen it before. One of those games that runs on OpenDingux normally. It's pretty damn cool that we do have the option to play these games. But these games seem to be running just fine. Alright, so the first game I'm going to try, we're going to jump into the PlayStation 1 just to see how it runs. And it runs like shit. So this is like we're going back in time, where we're going to review like really pretty damn annoying pieces of hardware that show that you can play PlayStation 1, or they say that it runs. But when you're booting it up, it doesn't freaking run. Or it runs like shit like this. So then we're going to get the points, more like, it's cool that they make a device like this, but what is the freaking point of any PlayStation 1 that doesn't even run at all? Right, let's just check the shit that it works. Alright, so let's start off with some Famicom. But of course that runs just fine. I just said of course, but I'm just like, I would not be surprised they messed up the audio. Wouldn't it be the first time they add something that doesn't work? Another thing I'm noticing is like the D-pad is very responsive, so that is very nice. But another thing I personally really love about this device is this tiny speaker. Listen to it. Another option they will give you in this firmware, that we do have the option to make a save slot. So that is pretty damn cool. And here you can see like you can make multiple save slots up to 10. So that is pretty damn awesome. I'm guessing to getting the right resolution for the certain game, you're going to get some bezel around the image. But I must say, when you're looking at the way how it displays, it's absolutely not bad at all. And again, the D-pad plays comfortable. Alright, so next up let's try Sega Genesis. But also this runs very well. It looks amazing on this display. Even it's like a tiny 2.8 inches. No, beefcake! Ugh. I would say like punch him in the face, but he's just holding his hand. So let's kick him in the balls, kick him in the balls. Oh, he punched me in the face. Oh. Alright, next up let's try some PC Engine. And PC Engine is an amazing system, but I must say like it doesn't run on every single cheap handheld. So I think this Powkiddy does have something extra to offer when it comes to that. Oh man, they keep killing me. I'm so bad at this game. Okay, so it's kind of funny that I noticed that this game always has a lot of issues when it comes to these cheap devices. I think it's better? No, it's not really better. So recently I did a review about a cheap handheld, but it had the same issue with this game. Such a bummer, because it's an amazing game. You can just see that the D-pad is absolutely amazing. Alright, next up let's try some Alien vs Predator. But the thing is with this game, like here you can see like this game runs just fine. But when you're comparing this to, let's say, cheaper devices, what you're just going to get extra with this is a beautiful display. I think the D-pad is better. Like, let's say, a previous Powkiddy I've reviewed that costs almost like the half of this. So if you want to have a quality display, you just need to pay more money for it. But still, when you're paying more, it doesn't say you can play even more. Alright guys, let's do a quick teardown and let's take a close look what's inside this tiny retro beast. I must say, like, I really love the design of this portable device, and yeah, when it comes to the D-pad, I am absolutely in love with it. I have a big, let's say, a D-pad fetish. If there's not a good D-pad, I'm not happy in general. I don't play with the analog stick. It doesn't even matter if it's like a Switch clone or, let's say, a PS Vita clone or a slider. I don't like joysticks in general when it comes to handhelds. I'm like the D-pad retro guy. But when you look at this, that is an amazing piece of tech they added inside of this. Okay, so then we're going to get the plastic shell. Here we're going to get ourselves the battery. And what I do like about this, what I'm already seeing is, oh, everything's falling apart here. So they put some space or some foam for like basically like clamping the battery in combination with some double-sided tape, but you can remove it if you have some issues, and the same is for the speaker. So, and the reason I'm showing you this because I have seen with, let's say, the cheap version, also with Powkiddy, everything has been soldered to the PCB, and what you're going to get in the end is, if you want to replace something, you need to get yourself a soldering iron, or it's going to be like a freaking nightmare, and you don't want to have that. But okay guys, so what are we going to get with this Powkiddy model? It's very simple. We're going to get a basic handheld that has like some minor improvements. To begin with, this thing has actually like a good D-pad, a beautiful IPS display. The emulation performance, it's a mixed bag, because with PlayStation 1 it runs like shit. But when you're looking at the 8-bit and 16-bit era and some MAME, you can play a lot of great games with this. Let me know in the comments, do you think this is worth picking up, or should you like avoid it? But I thank you for watching, consider subscribing, hit that little bell, becoming the Wicked family, and I will see you in the next.